another CFP semifinal game. It's going to be a great one. Indiana and Oregon will be the other game tomorrow night. The likely number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks in the upcoming NFL draft. They'll go head-to-head. Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza. Yesterday, the question was asked here on First Take. If Dante Moore was to come off the board second, the Jets are slated to pick second. Should he maybe reconsider going to the Jets or staying at Oregon? This was essay yesterday. Listen.
I'd eat something to provoke myself to have food poisoning where I'm like garbage before I'd play for the Jets. I'm telling you right now, whatever I could do to be alive and be okay in the end, but to ruin their thoughts of ever wanting me on their roster, I would do. And damn it, I'd go back to college before I play for the Jets. They are a football atrocity.
All right, so this was yesterday. We've now had a day to let it kind of soak in. Social media went off and ran with this. Essay, you want to add on?
Shocking.
Did I stutter? Where the camera at? Right here. Did I stutter? The Jets are horrible. Now, before I get into my take, I wanted to make sure that I clarify certain things. So, because I hear star wide receiver Mr. Garrett Wilson has something to say about a brother. So rather than me go off, let me first show everybody what he said. Damn.
Dang.
You got to be a real sellout. Interesting choice of words. And above all, a square to be on ESPN. Be on ESPN nowadays. Used to love that show. A couple of things, my brother. You can take that that tweet off, please. A couple of things, my brother. If you check the news, First Take, record ratings, number 1 show. Come April, we'll be number 1 for 14 consecutive years. That's number 1. Number 2, with all the years of success that we've had, we've never had greater success on this show than in 2025. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And all the contributors out there. Number 3, Garrett Wilson. You're a good brother, my man. And I don't blame you for feeling salty about what I said. I wasn't talking about you. I was pleading for you to get help. Meaning the kind of help Sauce Gardner got when they sent him to Indy. Meaning the kind of help when the Williams got when they sent him to Dallas. I think players should be trying to get the hell up out of MetLife Stadium in a Jets or Giants uniform these days. More so the Jets than the Giants. The Giants got some talent, okay? And the Jets have some too. I was talking about the organization. Horrible. You haven't been in the playoffs since 2010. That's 15 years. Now, I didn't Google Garrett Wilson to find out how old he is. When y'all get an opportunity, producers, please remind me of how young this brother is.
Let's say 25.
Let's say 20. So, in other words, they ain't been in the playoffs since you were 10. They ain't been in the playoffs since you were in junior high school. Junior high school. What junior high school you went to, Garrett Wilson? I don't need to ask as a rhetorical question. They haven't been to the playoffs since you were in junior high school. And then we watched them this year. Now I'm fully aware of the fact that they were basically tanking the season, second half of the season. I got that part. You trade away your best players and stuff like that. You're not really trying to win. I understand it. But when Sauce Gardner was there and Williams was there, you were like 1-7. I think with Sauce Gardner, you're 0-7. I think Williams was 1-7. So my point is, historically, y'all have been pretty close to football purgatory, if not the embodiment and definition of football purgatory. It's been that bad. Where individual players who can play are stuck in a rut because organizationally, you're not that good. Now, let me get to Woody Johnson real quick before I get to y'all, because this is the man that owns the New York Jets. But he took a, sabbatical hiatus, whatever word you want to call it, because he was the ambassador to the UK. He was an ambassador to the UK, okay? He's an ambassador, all right? That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. Then he comes back and he takes over, okay? Since Woody Johnson returned from his role as U.S. ambassador, right prior to the 2021 season, the New York Jets are the worst team in the National Football League. 26-59 Are you ready for this, RC? Mm-hmm. They've been outscored by 570 points. Put that camera back on me right now. 570 points. The worst team in the National Football League. I'm not talking about players because I know they got some players. And I know they got players that could go elsewhere and do something. I'm saying organizationally, you're trash. I stand by that. Last time I checked, pointing that out on behalf of damn good players in the National Football League that happen to be contaminated with their gangrene uniforms. That ain't selling out, that's looking out. A brother was trying to look out for you, Garrett Wilson, because you ain't the problem. It's just that none of y'all are the solution because that damn organization is like a virus sifting through the streets of New Jersey. They call them New York. Thank God they ain't in New York. New York got its own problems. They don't need the Jets making it worse. That is what I was saying. I didn't stutter. I didn't mince words. I meant exactly what the hell I said. And if you come to me a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, I'm going to say the same thing until I see different results. Because we certainly didn't see it this year. Floor is y'all's.
I mean, is there more to say? Like,
You get to go.
Like, are we supposed to?
You get to follow Nick Saban.
Are we supposed to kill and DeBoer that?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So I think the first thing for me is I have to be fully transparent. My son plays there.
Ooh, that's right.
And I was at the last 6 games of the season. There's no way you sit in that stadium and you don't say what the product on the field is unacceptable. Mm-hmm. Whether your son's out there or not. And what you say about the organization is the numbers are the numbers. In the last 10 years, the New York Giants are 31st. The New York Jets are 32nd in wins. And so all of those things are true. Here is all I know about this coaching staff. Here is all I know about this team. There are 2 things in life I would like for people to say about me. If somebody's mother or father met me, I'd want them to be like, hey, man, I'd let you marry my daughter. Right? When I see a young man like a Bijan Robinson and I think things like that, I think his parents must be proud. Yeah. The other thing, as I get older in life, I want people to be able to say, you know what, I'd want you to be a leader of my organization, a leader of my young men, a leader of a family. That's who Aaron Glenn is. What I do know is throughout this season, I've talked to many people who believe in him. Quinnen Williams, when he left, he said, you know what, my relationship with Aaron Glenn still is a great relationship because of the type of man that he is. The type of man that was the defensive coordinator in the first year of Detroit when they won 3 games, and he evolved and he learned, and he became someone that was such a great leader of men, such a great strategist and schematic coach that he's now the head coach of the New York Jets. What also I do know is in the next 2 years, they have 8 picks in the first 2 rounds. I know they have 4 picks in the top 45 this year, and they have a ton of money, a cap space, where they can figure out what they want to be, who they want to be. When you look at a team that's playing with an undrafted free agent as a quarterback, and you look at a team that trades away its 2 best defensive players, what we saw this year is probable. But you got to find a way to not make it your reality. And so going forward, I don't get to speak for who the Jets have been throughout history because the Detroit Lions were once something or a certain thing, and we thought of them in a certain way too, and Dan Campbell has changed that. I believe Aaron Glenn is a man that can change that. Everything that I've ever heard that he said has been true and from the heart, and if it changed, he's told you why it's changed, and he's been authentic about that. I think that's where you start. Now it's about can him and Mogi get the right players in the building.
No one's a bigger fan of Garrett Wilson than I am. When Garrett was coming out of school, I said he should be the #1 pick. Okay, so I got nothing but love for Garrett. Last year I said, get out of there. I feel like you're wasting your career. That wasn't received well, and I understand that. But I love Garrett. The reality is this. You stopped playing October 12th. You led your team in yards receiving. That kind of encapsulates where you are. They're the first team ever, because what you said, Stephen A., is accurate. They're the first team ever in the history of the league to lose 5 straight games by 23 or more points. This is not a good football team. It has not been a good football team. I think it also speaks to watching Aaron Rodgers go to Pittsburgh and look a lot like Aaron Rodgers of the past. Not all the time, but some of the time. Watching Davante Adams go to L.A. and be like, wait, this dude's one of the best receivers in football again, knowing that they both were there. So, like, you're watching talent leave there, not necessarily play the way that they're accustomed to and dominating. The only caveat I would say to your comment, Stephen A., when it comes to the Dante Moore part is twofold. RC talked about it. This regime is new. They I think, been there for 11 months, maybe. Let's give this regime a chance. And I know that's hard in the league with the history of the organization. This regime is new. They've got the most draft capital in the NFL this year. And the 27 first-round pick for the Colts for the sauce trade. So let's give them a chance before writing who they are in ink. And with the whole Dante Moore, skip the draft so you don't get drafted by the Jets. If you're a great quarterback, you're going to get drafted by bad teams. That's just the reality. What are you going to do, Dante Moore? Go back to Oregon in hopes that the Browns pick you next year? Or the Cardinals pick you the following year? Or the Dolphins pick you? There's a lot of teams in the NFL that don't have a good track record of consistently winning and or developing the quarterback position. If you're one of those top 5 picks at that position, you're going to get drafted by a team that more than likely is bad and has a bad track record. We don't have a ton of examples of those early picks flipping bad organizations. It takes time. You're not going to avoid them.
Sounds nice. I don't disagree with you. But it's important that we point this out. A couple of things. Do you know that when it comes to drafting quarterbacks, the Jets haven't drafted a Pro Bowl quarterback for them since 1983?
Ken Anderson? Right?
Ken O'Brien.
Ken O'Brien, that's right.
And that was the draft everybody said they passed up on Dan Marino. Just want to throw that out there, okay? We know they haven't won a division title since 2002 when Herm Edwards was the head coach. It's 2002. I know Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, but this is before Tom Brady and the New England Patriots were Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. You understand what I'm saying? They haven't won a division title since 2002. Did you know that they haven't had a winning record since 2015?
Yes.
I'm not even talking about playoffs now. Now we ain't even talking about playoffs.
No, they've been bad.
We're talking about
You're
an above 500 record.
Right.
Winning more games than you lose.
They haven't
Hasn't happened since 2015. Okay. Do you know that with Aaron Glenn and Muji, their general manager, that's their 6th head coach and their 6th general manager since 2010. They have given you no reason to believe in them as an organization.
That's fair.
I can make a legitimate argument. Why would we do that to a kid? I literally can say that. Now, obviously, you get the money. I'm being facetious when I sit up there. I'm not telling the kid to pass up money. You know that you go, of course I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, I couldn't tell him to be excited about going to the Jets if he was drafted by the New York Jets. Drafted by the NFL, yes. But having to put on that hat and knowing that you got to go to Florham Park and knowing that's the team you got to go on the field with, I can't tell him to be excited about that. I can tell him to be excited about being in the NFL.
Give this
I can't tell him. But wait a minute, though. I understand that. Fine. You want a chance? Fine. When I sit up there and I said to you that Aaron Glenn deserved to be fired, I didn't say I wish for it. Of course he has a history of showing. You give him a chance, give him time, he'll make things happen. What I'm saying is that from a realistic perspective, when you look at a fan base, if Aaron Glenn had gotten fired over the last 2 days, you would not have heard a sound from the city of New York. They would not, because it looked that bad. I'm just talking reality. I am a black man who roots for black coaches.
Sure.
I ain't apologizing for it to anybody. I've been pushing my entire 30-year career. There's an inordinate amount of evidence. New York Daily News, Philadelphia Inquirer, CNN, Fox Sports, ESPN. I have always pushed for black coaches. But in the same breath, just like I'm sitting there talking about Aaron Glenn, that wasn't good, I'm thinking about a guy like Brian Flores. You know, I want him to get a head coaching job. I want a lot of cats to get a head coaching job. Yep. I don't think Mike Tomlin should be fired, but I had to bring up that you ain't won a playoff game since 2016, and all the noise is being made about John Harbaugh. Trust me, that noise will be made Tuesday if Pittsburgh lose Monday night. It's just a reality. So I understand what y'all are saying about time, and Aaron Glenn, you are right. Based on his resume, he deserves it, okay? And it is a new regime. But there are people above them that are just inept. And they have proven it time and time and time again. In this century, there's only 2 teams that have been worse than the New York Jets. I think the Cleveland Browns is one of them, and I forget the other team. But somebody brought up Jacksonville, and I said, wait a minute, they were in the AFC Championship game in 2017.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? With the Jets been. You ain't won. You have not had a winning record since 2015. It's been 10 years.
It's bad.
You understand? It's horrible.
Give him another year.
You're Garrett Wilson, back to him. My brother.
We got love for you.
Ain't nothing but love for you. You're a stud. Nobody was talking about the players. I'm not talking about the players. You understand? Because I know they got good players on that team. I'm saying there's an infection that you might capture being a part of this organization with this owner who has shown himself to be so inept. You can actually bring up the word corrupt because you go like this. You can't be losing this way unintentionally. It must be intentional how bad y'all are. That's how bad it has been. And I stand by it, Shay. I'm not talking about the players, Garrett Wilson. I wouldn't do that to you, bro. I'm talking about way upstairs. It's horrible. Period.
It's a tough watch. You brought